In the core of the Sao Paulo rural lands, the Santa Clara Ranch spanned across acres of verdant terrain, encased by blossoming fields and thick forests. The owner, Lucas, a sturdy farmer in his early 40s, devoted his lifetime to the relentless toil he received from his forefathers on this ranch. Nonetheless, he didn't carry this responsibility single-handedly. His enduring companion, Thunder, a majestic dark brown horse with a white star adorning his forehead, was always with him. From his colt days, Thunder had exhibited traits contrasting with his equine kin. His intelligence and perceptiveness won over everyone. Over time, Lucas and Thunder created an unspoken and profound bond, transcending verbal communications. They communicated effortlessly through mere glances and nuanced signs. On that bright spring morning, the ranch was alive with activity. The chirping of the birds intermingled with the rustling of leaves and the far-off hum of the stream traversing the property. True to his routine, Lucas was up at the crack of dawn, attending to the daily tasks. One of his concerns was a part of the barn roof that needed immediate mending after the storm. With a ladder leaning against the barn's side, Lucas got to work, his hand tools in grasp, and a determined expression on his features. However, something uncommon seized his attention. Thunder, usually tranquil and observant, began acting unsettled. Thunder nervously paced in his enclosure, persistently clattering his hooves, and cast his gaze towards Lucas, as if attempting to convey something grave. Lucas, seeing his disquiet, tried to reassure him, stating, "Hush, boy, everything's okay." But Thunder couldn't be pacified. He even placed himself before the ladder, attempting to prevent Lucas from climbing further with his horse-sized head. Lucas chuckled at Thunder's protective act, oblivious to the real cause of Thunder's anxiety. "Thunder, what's bothering you today?" he asked, affectionately patting the horse's neck before resuming his ascent. Then, something unanticipated occurred. As Lucas stepped on one of the roof planks, it suddenly collapsed under him. Losing his balance, Lucas found himself falling from an alarming height, landing with a thud. He felt an instantaneous and throbbing pain. Thunder's neigh echoed around, sounding like a heart-wrenching wail of fear. Showing an impressive initiative, Thunder dashed toward the main house. He knew what he needed to do. He hammered his hooves on the front door, attempting to alert Maria, Lucas's spouse. Maria, alerted by the peculiar commotion, rushed outside, finding Thunder in an apparent state of alarm. "Thunder, what's the matter?" she asked, her concern creeping through her words. The equine refused to halt its audible signals and proceed to the stable. It seemed as though she was supposed to tag along. Maria comprehended the intensity and pursued Thunder up till she came across Lucas, sprawled on the ground, lifeless and severely wounded. Thus a tale of fidelity and bravery unfolded, where Thunder solidified the bond between a human and a beast can be potent and sometimes extraordinary. For numerous years, Thunder was Lucas's equine, portraying a role more significant than just a customary tame beast right from its inception. The bond between Lucas and Thunder was noticeable to every bystander. Thunder didn't just comprehend Lucas's voice, but also seemed to empathize with his sentiments completely. As dawn broke over the Santa Clara Ranch every day, Thunder and Lucas kick-started their rituals. Irrespective of plowing the fields, hauling the cart, or merely running as Lucas assessed his lands, Thunder faithfully stood by him. Thunder was part of all significant events in Lucas's life, even in tough times, including the passing of Lucas's mother. The creature sensed the owner's sorrow and remained by his side, offering solace and tranquility the way only an animal could. During a day when Lucas was mending some damaged tiles on the barn roof, Thunder started behaving unusually. The typically peaceful horse was noticeably disturbed. Thunder stirred audibly and stomped his hooves relentlessly, dead set on Lucas, as if cautioning him about a looming danger. "Easy, Thunder. It's all right." An attempt to console the horse occurred, but Thunder didn't cool down. He stood in the way of the ladder, nudging Lucas with his head, deterring him from climbing. Lucas knitted his brows, baffled by his horse's conduct. "Thunder, what's wrong today?" he queried, stroking Thunder's neck. He attempted to shove the horse away and resumed his ascent, disregarding Thunder's persistent alerts. The minute Lucas made it to the roof, Thunder's neigh augmented in intensity, his agitation growing. Determined to complete the chore, Lucas continued disregarding the equine's indications. Then the unthought of occurred. A roof board, deteriorated with age, fractured under Lucas. He plunged from an alarming elevation, making brutal contact with the ground that led him to lose consciousness immediately. Spotting his owner lethargic and lifeless, Thunder acted swiftly. The horse bolted toward the central house, where Maria, the wife of Lucas, was busy with culinary chores for a midday meal in the kitchen. Thunder rattled the door with his hooves, his horse call relentless and urgent, aimed at capturing Maria's notice. Maria, startled by the louder-than-normal sound, trailed it to the origin and found Thunder, visibly agitated. "Thunder, what's wrong?" queried Maria, her tone filled with worry. Thunder wouldn't cease his relentless neighing and started making his way toward the barn with the human on his trail. He glanced back every few seconds to confirm Maria was closely behind him. With adrenaline rushing through her veins, Maria bolted behind Thunder to find Lucas lying inert and seemingly critically injured on the ground. She crouched next to her spouse, attempting fruitlessly to shake him awake. "Lucas, please open your eyes," she begged on the brink of tears. In the aftermath of amusing Maria, Thunder discontinued his frantic calling, yet remained alongside them, as if standing guard. Maria promptly made a phone call to the emergency helpline. Throughout the wait for the medical service to arrive, she stayed at Lucas's side, squeezing his hand and murmuring consoling words. Thunder held his ground, his large, piercing eyes mirroring the dread pervasive in the air. Once the paramedics arrived at the scene, they efficiently prepared Lucas for transport to the hospital facility. Thunder observed the operation with fixation, giving out a soft neigh, as if bidding a temporary farewell to his caretaker. In the following period of Lucas enduring critical condition, Thunder demonstrated signs of unease. He rejected his feed and spent an excessive amount of time near the barn, his gaze fixated on the direction of the healthcare facility as if anticipating Lucas's comeback. Thunder's affinity with Lucas was so profound that it was apparent to every member there that Thunder was experiencing Lucas's absence on a deeper level. Consequently, with Lucas's outcome hanging in the balance, Thunder persisted with his vigil, his optimism unbroken for the homecoming of his caretaker. The date of the accident subsequently modified the dynamics on the Santa Clara farm. After unexpectedly tumbling from the roof, Lucas was hurriedly transported to the dispensary in a neighboring vicinity. The medical practitioners discovered that he had sustained major cranial trauma along with multiple fractures. The physicians cautioned Maria about the importance of the first 2 days following the accident, as she awaited anxiously for an update on her spouse. In the meantime, on the farm, Thunder was displaying signs of agitation. The horse stationed itself in the corral precariously close to the barn, his eyes riveted on the driveway, as if waiting in anticipation for Lucas to reappear any minute. Thunder's changed behavior started concerning all the farm dwellers, but their options were limited as they could do nothing more than to hold on patiently. As days transitioned without any change in Lucas's unconscious state, Maria split her time between the hospital and the farm. While Lucas was in intensive care, Maria tried her best to keep the situation normal on the farm, along with her children Anna and Pedro, striving to keep everything running smoothly. Every family member drew strength from Thunder's calm demeanor, particularly Maria, who found solace in the stallion, seeing him mirror her struggles and optimism. One day, almost a week after the horrendous event, Maria found herself at the hospital when Dr. Almeida, the physician overseeing Lucas's health, rang. "Maria, we must have a conversation," he stated with a grave voice that made her heart flutter with apprehension. Maria rushed to his office, her heartbeat pounding in her ears. "Lucas's situation hasn't improved. He's still comatose with his chances of recuperating dwindling as each day passes. We must prepare to discuss challenging choices." Those words hit her like a ton of bricks. That evening, she came back to her home, consumed by despair. Upon her arrival at the ranch, Thunder was there at the gate, as if he had been anticipating her arrival. Witnessing the sorrow in Maria's gaze, Thunder let out a soft neigh, a consoling note in the enveloping gloom. Seasons changed with Lucas's health unimproved, bringing with it winter's cold, shortened days. Despite the ranch maintaining its productivity, an unease hung over it, a shroud of uncertainty covering a once vibrant place. Yet Thunder was constantly near, providing unwavering support, staying close to the barn, and occasionally letting out sigh-like neighs when he encountered Maria or Lucas's little ones. Circular time brought them a complete year from since the mishap, and Maria was summoned for a concluding consult. Dr. Almeida briefed her about the exhaustion of all possibilities on their end, hinting gently that considerations of life support removal might arise. Tongue-tied with grief, Maria left to discuss this heartbreaking decision with her innocent children back at the farm. On a night filled with discussions of Lucas's fate around the family dinner table, Thunder, who was grazing freely in the field, began to behave oddly yet again. He ran frantically, produced deafening neighs, and exhibited disturbing restlessness. Sensing something amiss, Maria stepped outside to assess the situation. Thunder was stationed near the fence, his gaze directed towards her, seemingly attempting to communicate an emergent message with an intense, unparalleled neigh. Puzzled, Maria queried, "Thunder, what has gotten into you?" Yet the stallion's peculiar conduct persisted, as if he was aware of something she wasn't. Heavy-hearted, Maria arrived at the hospital the following day. The medical staff stood ready to begin the procedure of switching off the medical equipment and keeping Lucas alive. Concurrently, Thunder's restlessness intensified back at the farm, stomping his hooves and releasing vehement neighs, almost as though he somehow predicted the impending doom. With the medical team on standby to power down the life support, Thunder bellowed out a neigh back at the farm that vibrated through the farmland. In the healthcare facility, something extraordinary happened just then. The machines near Lucas's bed went into an alarm frenzy. His eyes began to flutter open, and he murmured a single name: Thunder. The bond between the man and his horse had escalated to a new height. Lucas roused from his unconscious state, resonating with Thunder's urgent plea. The medical staff, taken aback, immediately contacted Maria, who hastened to her spouse's bedside. Upon seeing Lucas conscious, her face was washed with tears expressing elation and solace. Back at their countryside residence, Thunder ultimately became quiet again, as though aware that his owner was now secure. Lucas's incredible recovery quickly became the talk of the town, and Thunder was celebrated as a local champion. The tale of his fidelity and attachment to Lucas stirred the emotions of everyone in the vicinity, underscoring the profound and indescribable link between humans and their animal companions. As the days passed, Lucas regained his health and made his way back to the farm. Saving Thunder didn't seem to be just a horse anymore, but a devoted companion and sentinel. The revival of Santa Clara Farm, under the inseparable bond of Lucas and Thunder, accentuated that certain connections transcend human comprehension, touching the core of our being directly.